Silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Hey, where are you going? Hey, 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 hey. Shots fired! Shots fired!
Hurt my mother!
Whoa, hold on. What's going on? Hold on. I'm trying to breathe.
Get out of the car now!
Talk to me about what's
Get
going
on the ground! Get on the ground now!
Can you please talk to me about what's going on?
Get on the ground!
Alpha 1, Fort Lauderdale 19.
Law enforcement is full of idiot scumbags. Corruption is the true word to describe these cops. Sometimes it's hard to believe how low they are willing to go, all for the price of their ego. But there are times a miracle happens and they are caught. Just like this first female officer who thought she could get away with it.
Silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Hey, where are you going? Hey, 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 hey.
The pure grip tells the whole story, but this isn't even the worst part of it all. It's the fact that this female officer makes a real bad mistake, and you'll see what I mean in a few seconds.
No, you're not. Hey, do not run away from me.
Do not grab me.
You may arrest you right here and right now. Right down here.
I'm asking you. Is don't touch me.
Watch out.
Don't touch me.
Come back down here. Sean, Sean.
You don't touch my mother.
It's scary situations like these where I ask myself, where do they hire corrupt officers like this? They must come in groups.
You hurt my mother. You hurt my mother.
No!
Don't hurt my mother.
Back up.
You don't hurt my mother. You don't hurt my mother.
And this is where the recording stops. A perfectly good example as to why 90% of people don't trust law enforcement. In a matter of seconds, family members are also put in danger. It's completely dangerous. Speaking of dangerous, that's how I would describe the Virginia police. U.S. Army Lieutenant Caron Nazario was driving, enjoying his new vehicle, but that fun comes to an end very quickly because he is stopped by two officers named Joe Gutierrez and Daniel Crocker. They were going to make sure his day turns into hell at the snap of a finger.
Driver, roll the window down! Felony traffic stop.
These psycho officers. They stopped him for having tinted windows and for also not having a rear license plate. Is that a good reason to draw a gun on someone? No, but they think so.
Put your hands out the window! Put your hands out the window! Turn the vehicle off, put your hands out the window! I can't tell. Put your hands out the window and turn the vehicle off! Put your hands out the window! He's not complying, Joe.
Come around your side.
Let me see your hands! How many occupants are in the vehicle?
What's going on?
How many occupants are in your vehicle?
It's only myself. Why are your weapons drawn? What's going on?
Open the door slowly and step out! Open the door!
I'm not getting out the vehicle. What's going on?
Get out the car! Open the door slowly and get out!
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
Open the door and get out the car!
Hold still. Hold. Keep your hands outside the window. Keep your hands outside the window.
My hands are right here. What's going
Get out
on?
of the
The camera shows proof he has his hands out the window. We are dealing with some serious power-tripping police. This is the best example we see, and things are about to get much worse for Caron.
Get out of the car!
What's
now!
going on?
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now!
I'm serving this country and this is how I'm treated?
Yo, what? Guess what? I'm a veteran too. I don't know, babe.
That's
Get
not-
out of the car!
What's going on?
Get out of the car now!
What's going on?
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
I'm sorry, what?
Get out of the car! car now!
What's going on?
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
Sir, just get out the car. Work with us and we'll talk to you. Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
I'm honestly afraid to get out. Can I?
Yeah, you
ask
should
what's
be.
going on?
Get out.
Did he seriously just say you should be? Get him out of law enforcement forever. Clearly not the right fit if he's going to be a maniac on the clock.
What
Get
did
out
I
the
do?
car.
Get out now.
I have not committed any crimes.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest
For a traffic-
You're being detained. Okay, you're being detained for
For a
obstruction of justice.
traffic violation, I do not have to get out the vehicle. You haven't even told
Really?
me why I'm being stopped.
Really?
Get your hands.
Get out of the car now. Get out of the car.
Get your hands off me,
Get out of
please.
the-
Get your hands off me.
You know what?
Get your hands off me.
Not a
Get your
problem.
hands off me.
Back up,
I
Daniel.
didn't do anything. Don't do that.
Sir,
Get out of the car
Don't do
now.
that.
Hey, sir,
Get out of the
do
car
that.
now.
Don't do.
look,
I'm trying to talk
get out.
to you.
Okay.
I'm trying to
I'm
talk.
gonna talk to
Get
you.
out.
Just get out of my
Relax.
car.
Can you please
Get out.
relax? Can
Get
you
out.
please relax?
Get out of the car right now.
This
Now.
is not how you treat a vet. I'm actively serving this country, and this is how you're gonna treat me.
Back up, Daniel.
I didn't do anything.
Back up.
Whoa, hold on.
Hey,
What's going? Hold on. Watch it.
Air 4OC is deployed.
If you truly weren't convinced this is the best example of a corrupt officer, well, here's the proof now. Doing everything to make things escalate.
Get out of the car. Get out of the car now.
That's fucked up. That's fucked
Get out of
up.
the car now.
Sir, just get out the car.
I'm trying to breathe. Ugh,
Get out of the car now.
that's fucked up. That's really fucked up.
Get out of the car and get on the ground now. Get it.
I don't even want to reach my seatbelt. Can you?
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car.
Can you please?
Get out of the car now. Listen. Take off your seatbelt and get out of the car.
Look, I'm just gonna please.
You're gonna do what you're told. Get out of the car.
Look,
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the
Look.
Take your seatbelt off.
look, my hands are out.
Take your seatbelt off and get out of the
My
car.
hands are out.
Don't reach in there, Daniel. Don't reach in there.
My hands are out. Please. Please, look. This is really messed up. My dog is in the back. My dog is choking right
Get
now.
out of the car. Take your seatbelt off. What are you, a specialist corporal or are you?
I'm a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, get out of the car. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. You made this way more difficult than it had to be if you just complied. Get out of the car.
I'm reaching for my seatbelt.
Fine. Take your seatbelt off and get out of the car. Straight onto the ground. Straight onto the ground.
Ma'am.
Is your commanding officer
Down.
available?
Let's go.
Is your commanding
Let's
officer
go.
available?
Get on the ground. Get on the
Can you
ground.
please talk to
Get
me
on the
about
ground
what's
now.
going on?
Get on the ground and you're getting sprayed again. Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to me about what's
Get
going
on the ground.
on?
Get on the ground now.
Can you please talk to me
Get on
about
the
what's
ground.
going
Get on the ground.
Can you please talk to me about what's
Yes, sir.
going on?
You're not.
Can you please talk to me about what's going on? Why am I being treated like this? Why?
You're not cooperating. Get on the ground.
Why am I being treated like this? This is really messed up. This is really messed up.
Sir, what? Just
This
work.
is really, this is fucked up.
Sir,
This is fucked up.
Sir.
This is fucked
Sir.
up. You know this is fucked
lay
up.
down. Lay on the ground. Just
You
lay
know
flat.
this is fucked
Lay
up.
flat for me, sir.
You know this is fucked up.
Sir, lay flat. Lay flat.
This is fucked up. I can't fucking believe I'm being treated like this. And I'm fucking
Get on the ground.
wrong.
Get on the ground. Right there. Right there. What's that?
It's gum. What the fuck?
Get on the ground.
It's gum.
Sir, can you just work with us?
Can I?
The rookie officer sounds like he doesn't even want to do this, but has to for the sake of his job. He knows this is very wrong.
Just work with us. Lay down flat.
Hold on.
Lay down flat. Lay down flat.
Sir,
This
lay
is
down.
really
I'm going to tase
fucked
you.
up.
Lay down. You're going to
This
get
is
tased.
fucked up.
Lay down. You're going to get tased.
Fucked up. This
All
is
right, now
fucked up.
put your hands behind your back. Put your hands behind your back.
This is fucked up. This is fucked up.
I agree. All you have to do is listen.
All right.
Halo 3. One in custody.
This is fucked up. Can you open up the window for my dog? I hear him choking. Can you open up the window, please?
Yes. Yes, we will.
Stand up, okay?
This This is fucked up.
Is there any weapons on you, sir?
No.
Okay. Any weapons in the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay. What kind? Where and they at?
What kind of dog you got?
He's mixed. He's a service animal.
Why didn't you just do as we asked, sir? Why didn't you just do as we asked? No, you weren't. You were not. My partner put his blue lights on.
Yes.
You didn't stop.
I was pulling over to a well-lit area for my safety and yours. I have respect for law enforcement.
No, you don't.
It's
No, you don't. No. Wrong answer, sir. If you did, we would not be in this situation right now. All
Can I
right?
get some water, please?
Absolutely. Sit right on this curb right here. Turn around.
Come sit on this curb.
Walk backwards. Walk backwards.
Can you get some water? Can you open up the window for my dog?
I got him. I got him
I
all
hear
in.
him choking.
We
I
already
got
did.
him all
We
in.
already opened it.
I'm gonna go grab a
Sit down.
bottle
I
of
got
water.
you. Sit down on the
All right,
curb.
Joe. You good with that?
Yeah. Sit down on the curb. Sit down right there.
Luckily, the ambulance finally arrives to help Carone, and the rookie officer was nice enough to bring him water.
I know.
Why did you stop? Why did you stop? It's a simple traffic stop.
Dark over there. Those areas are dark. I did not feel comfortable.
right, sir.
Those areas are dark.
Hold
have
on,
you a
I'll
cup
get some
of water?
for you.
You want to pour it on my face.
It's gonna make it worse. You know that, right?
All right. So if it's gonna make it worse, don't do it then.
Yeah, it's gonna reactivate it and make it worse.
Where's the
They're right
They're
here.
here.
Where are the medics?
They're here.
I need them to talk to me. What's
They're
going
right here
on?
beside you.
What's up, man? What can you do to? I didn't commit any crimes. I'm leaving tonight. I'm not going to jail. I need something to be done for my eyes.
Nothing I can do to help you with your
Can you wipe my face? Can you do something?
Can you notify 801?
For wasting his time like that, they should release him from the handcuffs and let him go on with his day. But that's not how things work. You know their corruption wouldn't allow that. He just continues to suffer because of getting sprayed earlier.
Then he refused to get out, and we told him to get out, try to take
Well,
it out.
keep your handcuffs on you for their sake. Until they can figure out what's up, but why do you want to stop for them? They're probably going to leave you.
It was a dark area. I pulled over to a well-lit place.
That's fine. You didn't tell him that. So
I told him that, and that's why I don't understand why I'm still
Sir,
in
how do you say your last name?
Nazario.
Okay, Mr. Rosario. I know this doesn't make a lot of sense to you, but the more that you blink, it's going to cause your eyes to tear, and it's going to get that burning out, okay? So blink for me.
You understand what you're saying?
The more that you blink your eyes, it's going to
make
cause
your eyes
tearing.
tear up. Your natural tears have
I need to blow
saline.
my nose. Can I please blow
Sure.
my nose? Can you
Blow right
please
in
take
here.
the cuff off?
Go ahead, let it out. That'll help. Just temporize this.
Wipe my nose.
Rosario, do you have any Okay. You take your medication on a regular basis?
No.
Are you allergic to any medicine?
I got you.
Can you please take the cuffs
No.
off me? There's nothing going on. There's nothing wrong. Come on. This is
Obviously there is, because you wouldn't comply with us. All we did was ask you to get out of the car. And you refused. You said, no, I'm not getting out of the car.
I was asking what was going on. My hands are out the
And
window.
we told you it's a traffic stop, and you refused to comply. So hold on, before we get to that, my medics are still here. You still need my medics?
Yes, I'm going to stay here.
We'll stand by, man.
Okay.
We'll stay here as long as you need us.
So that's
So, about how long does this take to wear off?
You just come out of rookie school. How
Yeah.
long does pepper spray activate?
It'll take about 20 minutes, man. 20, 30 minutes.
It's just
The more, I'm telling you, I know it doesn't make sense, but the more you blink, the better it's going to be. I didn't believe the guys when they told me either, okay? But the more you blink, the better it's going to get.
They go through this stuff
making
in
me
their
very
training.
anxious. Can you please take the cuffs off
No.
me, please? I need to
No.
relax. Okay.
If you
Okay,
hadn't
so
fought us, then yeah,
I did not fight you. But can you adjust this, please? So my wrist can stay together,
They
please.
can lock them.
Please.
When I take your arms out, do not pull away, okay?
I'm not going to pull away. I'm just asking you to please work with me.
I'm going to work with you as much as you'll work with me.
My grandmother is retired NYPD.
All right, what do you want to do with this hand?
I want to twist it around this way. Yes.
All right. Where's your ID at, sir?
I believe it's in this shoulder pocket.
Here?
Yes. You feel something rectangular?
Where are you stationed at, Mr. Nazario?
I'm coming from
Get in your pocket.
zipper.
Oh, zipper, okay.
I'm coming from a medical event. I'm a medical officer.
All right, I'll put your wallet back in here, okay? What y'all do, exercise today?
Do you have?
We're preparing for a deployment. So
Thank you.
And even after all this time, the officer is still lecturing him on everything he did wrong in his eyes.
That's all I'm supposed to do. If you just stepped out the car when we told you to, we'd be done by now. It was a simple traffic violation.
Mr. Nazario, look, you want to stop in a well-lit area because you're nervous.
yes.
The whole BLM movement, you're probably nervous and all that. They feel the same way. They're nervous for their jobs and their lives. I get where you're coming from. They get where you're coming from. But let's let this pepper spray kind of wear off and stuff, and then just have an intelligent conversation with them.
Driving all the way down here. First of all, you passed a well-lit parking lot there, but okay, you felt more comfortable here, okay? Coming here was not the problem. That was not the problem. The problem is when you refuse to get out of the car. Okay? You refuse to get out of the car. When we got here and you stepped out of the car, I can promise you this would have been over by now. It'd have been over. You'd be gone.
Look, like he said, he's a vet. He don't want to get you in no trouble with your command.
You okay, Mr. Nazario? Is that still wearing off a little bit now?
I can see a little better.
Okay, very good. So we're progressing. We're getting there.
Where you stay at?
I'm heading to Petersburg right now. Check on some family stuff. I got a bunch of gear in the vehicle. I'm transferring units right now. My vehicle's loaded up with gear.
Okay, well, specifically, he was asking about weapons. What kind of weapons you got there?
It's right there. I'm sure you saw it already. Right
No, I mean, you just got a handgun or you got a long gun?
A handgun.
No long gun? Where's it at?
I got it.
Like you said, don't worry about their safety. Like you worry about you.
Yeah, he came back with it. We're on a firearm. X-ray Delta 996874, XD 996874.
And for those wondering about his dog and its safety, they get the okay to check.
Taking a shorter breath.
No, is my dog okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my brother's checking on it. All the ones that come here.
You alright if I pop the trunk?
Yes, sir.
Hey, pup. Hey, pup.
Is it a blue nose?
Yeah.
Gorgeous dogs.
Thank you.
Black's right there. Lieutenant, what happened? Why wouldn't you comply?
I looked out the mirror and I saw guns drawn. I put my hands out.
And we told you, we identified ourselves, we told you to step out of the vehicle, and you wouldn't. All you had to do was comply, and we'd have been done by now, okay? Because trust me, as far as driving,
Officer Gutierrez now gives Carone a decision to make that could change everything.
We can either sit here with you until you get your eyes back where you can see, and I mean at a good distance, you're safe to drive, okay? And you're going down the road. Go do your deployment, go continue serving my country, which I respect and I thank you for, okay? Or we can push the issue, write you tickets for no license plate displayed and for obstructive justice. I don't even need to go that route because that route makes the Army get involved, and I know how they are. You don't know this. The Army, he'll vouch for it because he's been in and he's got friends that are legal officers. I know. The military is the only place. The military is the only place where double jeopardy exists legally. Because whenever we do to him, the Army can turn around and jam him for the same thing. I don't want to see that happen. You're obviously a second lieutenant. You ain't been in very long. But if you plan on making a career or even 6 years or whatever, it's up to you. I don't care. There's no need getting this on your record. I don't want it on your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it and argue, I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, okay? I mean, you have that right as a citizen. If that's what you want, we'll charge you, have you go to court, notify the command, do all that, or we can take time out of our night, which is not a problem. We're being paid to take care of people, okay? We'll sit here with you, get your eyes back. You and, what's your dog's name? Smoke. Smoke? It's a badass name for a badass dog. You and Smoke can get on down the road, okay? It's entirely up to you. What do you want to do? I got no problem. I'll sit here with you till you get your eyes back and send you on down the road, okay? I don't want to charge you. I will. It's my job. I don't want to. The chief's giving me discretion on how to handle it. He's like, these are the two choices. I said, that's what I was thinking. That's what I want to do. He's like, not a problem. We can either let it go, help him out, get his eyes back, and get him on down the road so the Army doesn't get involved, or we can charge you, and then it's a big hassle for you. It doesn't change my life one way or the way. You see what I'm saying? It's not about me. This is about you. What you want to do. If you want to just chill, let this go, and no charges filed, we'll take the handcuffs off, we'll get you a bottle of water to drink on, and sit here until you feel comfortable driving. All right? Or the other option is we write the summons, discharge you, by then we have no choice. We have to notify your command. And again, I don't have to be an ass. I don't have to be threatening. I say that because that's just the way it is. Okay? I just talked to my boss. Those are the two choices that he gave me. Personally, as a veteran who served, okay, I did 6 years before. My wife's a retired sailor. She retired as a E8 out of the Navy. Okay? I don't want to see you get jammed up by the Army. Okay? I don't want to see it happen. If you need to spit, just let us know. Go ahead and spit. Because we've both been sprayed, so we know what it's like. It sucks. If you need to spit, go ahead and spit. You're not going to offend us. Okay. All right. What do you want to do, Lieutenant? I'll let you tell me because,
I mean, nobody's going to ask for charges.
And now, the moment of truth. What will Carone have to say?
So, I'm not going to ask for that.
I understand that. However, I have to make that option available to you, right? I mean, I have to. So here's what I want to do. Especially as calm as you've been since everything ended, I want to take the handcuffs off, let you sit here with Smoke. We'll sit here and wait with you. Let your eyes come back. Okay, because it takes anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes depending on how much actually got in the eyeball itself before you can really see well how to drive, especially at night. Okay? We'll sit here with you, and then we'll get you on down the road. And the command won't know nothing about it. All right?
I do have a good rapport with my command, so I wouldn't feel right not talking to them about it. So
that's entirely on you. I'll put it this way then for you. They're going to hear from you. They will not hear from us. I'll give you that much respect, okay? Because I understand. I told you, I was in for 6 years. It's always better for the command to hear it first from you than somebody else, especially with law enforcement. That's never a good thing. Go ahead and unhook him. I want to talk to you a little bit. Again, I get it, okay? I get the climate we're in right now. I get it, okay? The climate we're in, what the media is spewing with the race relations between minorities and law enforcement, I get it, okay? So like I told you, as far as you not stopping and because you're uncomfortable and you wanted a well-lit spot, Lieutenant, that happens all the time. It happens to me a lot.
I think many of you will be happy to hear Officer Gutierrez was fired from this. He failed to follow department policy. This is where corruption in the system gets you. Nowhere except unemployment. And if you thought that cop was a jackass, wait till you see these next officers. This was the reaction of the Meridian Police due to a shoplifting suspect. How will they treat such a person?
Joanna 02 Dodge, silver in color, Andre Wilson. H1 Central, still me out with 10-4 H1, Alpha 6, you got him stopped. One to 6, you'll stop. Alpha 1, Fort Lauderdale 19, they stopped in front of the gas station.
For those who didn't catch it, that's a taser he just used.
That's simple. Alpha 6, Hotel 1, 1013. 44 Whiskey at this vehicle. I believe they're going to be stopped in front of the Murphys. Pay attention, we're going to be right in front of Walmart's Murphy. Simple.
Even more great news. The officer responsible for pushing him around and tasing him, he got punished for treating it like it was a toy. Officer Daniel Starks was fired. And from officers being fired to them being owned in the courtroom, you can't miss it.
You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache.
Corrupt cops think they can get away with anything until they step into the courtroom. Today, we'll be witnessing officers who believed they were untouchable get instantly exposed and put in their place. On January 28, 2015, Floyd Dent, 58, was out and about when Officer Melendez stopped him for a minor traffic offense. However, Melendez's subsequent choices resulted in horrible injuries for Dent, and the officer's intentions will shock you.
The responding police officers arrived as the defendant is wrestling the defendant to the ground. Mr. Dent was struck, kicked, and tased while on the ground by what appeared to be a group of angry, anxious police officers that celebrated after the defendant was beaten and cuffed.
Our police force is tarnished by such idiots. They pose as victims while unlawfully using force on the same individuals they are supposed to protect. The amount of police brutality cases is alarming.
The responding police officers arrived as the defendant is wrestling the defendant to the ground. Mr. Dent was struck, kicked, and tased while on the ground by what appeared to be a group of angry, anxious police officers that celebrated after the defendant was beaten and cuffed.
I don't understand how these police officers even manage to live with themselves. These officers are indicative of persistent problems in our police force that need to be addressed immediately and aggressively.
But the one image that struck out to the court was looking at Mr. Dent in his cell, shaking his head. In disbelief of what had occurred to him. If his conduct was indicative of what he was thinking, I would have thought this: what crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking to do a nigga.
Melendez is one of the dumbest cops I have ever encountered. Because of his reckless actions, his life will never be the same.
But the one image that struck out to the court was looking at Mr. Dent in his cell, shaking his head. In disbelief of what had occurred to him. If his conduct was indicative of what he was thinking, I would have thought this. What crime did I commit? Being a black man in a Cadillac, stopped for a minor traffic offense by a group of racist police officers looking to do a nigga. The purpose of it was to harass and degrade a motorist in Inkster. The man chosen for your game was Floyd Dent, a black man. The game went like this. Let's follow a car in a known drug area, and based on your years of training experience, you knew that the motorist would likely be a black person, no license, armed with a gun or drugs in a vehicle.
The old scheme with the bogus letters. Melendez clearly took this judge too lightly, and that was his biggest mistake.
At the station, the other eye of justice captured you and your posse making fun of Mr. Dent, mimicking him struggling while you all wiped the blood off your uniforms with disinfectant while he watched. Such an awesome, caring, properly trained police officer. You led your fellow officers down a path of cowardly behavior. You betrayed your city. You caused your lovely wife heartache. And you caused Mr. Dent severe anguish.
I bet he can't make fun of Mr. Dent now. I'm willing to bet that he no longer had the courage, considering the disaster of a situation he'd put himself in.
I can only punish your conduct, but only you and God can change your character. I've had an opportunity to listen to both sides. And I had to say this because I didn't say this during the trial. But it was my privilege to be able to oversee this trial because I had great lawyers.
Look at his face. This man felt awful not because he felt bad about what he did to Mr. Dent, but because he got caught and punished for his actions.
I am going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections. However, after weighing the allegations in this particular matter and looking at all the circumstances, including what you've done and who the person I really believe that you are, I'm going to commit you to the Michigan Department of Corrections as to count 1 for no less than 13 months, no more than 10 years. As to count 2, I'm going to give you 90 days credit for time served and close it out. The court's going to give you 85 days for credit. You have 42 days to appeal my decision. That concludes this matter. Thank you.
He was still given comparatively less time for his actions. For his heinous acts, he merits a longer sentence in prison. In this next case, we have a cop who got the punishment he definitely deserved for his wicked deed, which you will struggle to believe.
The Class E felony of involuntary manslaughter in the 2nd degree, I sentence you to a term of incarceration in the Missouri Division of Adult Institutions of 3 years.
On 4th March 2022, former Kansas police detective Eric DeValcaneri was standing trial in November for killing Cameron Lamb in Kansas City, Missouri, and ended up in front of Jackson County Circuit Judge Dale Youngs.
Eric DeValcaneri on count 1, the Class E felony of involuntary manslaughter in the 2nd degree, I sentence you to a term of incarceration in the Missouri Division of Adult Institutions of 3 years. On the unclassified felony of armed criminal action, I sentence you to a term of incarceration of 6 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections. Those cases, or rather those counts and sentences, will run concurrent with one another for a total term of incarceration of 6 years. And the parties have a right to expect that no matter what I hear, I will only consider factors that are appropriate and that I will disregard those that are inappropriate. And that is what I've done here. And as a result, I've concluded as follows. There are a number of facts in this case that are both aggravating and mitigating, sometimes all at the same time. First and foremost is this undeniable and uncontested fact. Cameron Lamb is dead. And Eric DeValkenaer.
Although the judge's tone gave the impression that he was impartial, he would impose a just punishment.
That's undisputed. Cameron Lamb was by all accounts a helpful and loving son, brother, father, and friend. People who have contacted me and who I have heard from today have described him as funny, caring, giving. Miss Gray called him a protector, a jokester, and my favorite of all the ones that I read, not a saint, but our angel. Cameron Lamb's death leaves an irreparable and unfillable void in the lives of his family and his friends, and also in our community.
The remarks made by his friends and family are incredibly heartbreaking.
Also, as I'm weighing all these facts, it can't be overlooked that the events of December 3rd of 2019 were initially set into motion by Cameron Lamb and his decision to chase his girlfriend through city streets at dangerously high speeds, putting motorists and other members of the public at risk. However, those events tragically concluded with the actions of Troy Schwam and the defendant pulling up to defendant's house, Sergeant Schwam pulling into the driveway, immediately getting out with his weapon drawn, rapidly moving into the backyard, carport, garage area of the house, and defendant doing the same. Both without taking a breath, without pausing for the briefest of moments to consider where they were going, what they would find when they got back there, whether they were acting lawfully in doing so, and whether there might be some other safer option, without so much as a, "Hey Troy, wait." At any point, Sergeant Schwam and the defendant could have done this, a fact that is made even more aggravating as the court considers an appropriate sentence in this case by the fact that the one person who ultimately did take a breath that morning was Cameron Lamb.
The judge considered the issue with as little bias as possible, but Eric's crime was simply too horrible to overlook.
He did this when at some point, while he was chasing his girlfriend, he decided to discontinue the chase and to go home. The video from the helicopter shows this decision, shows how it played out. Cameron Lamb is not racing through the streets of his neighborhood at this point. He's not driving through yards to get away from anyone. He does not abandon the truck and let it roll into someone's yard while he flees on foot. Rather, he simply pulls into the driveway of his home, pulls around back, puts the vehicle into reverse, and slowly begins backing it down the driveway under the carport and into his garage. Then Sergeant Schwam and Eric DeValkenaer arrive, and as the court has found, an encounter that was over and a situation that had de-escalated was again escalated by what I have found, rightly or wrongly, was their unlawful entry into the backyard carport area and confrontation of Cameron Lamb. This is an aggravating factor. The circumstances of the offense as described during the trial, however, also provide the court with a mitigating factor.
And this is when things were about to take a turn for the worse.
I found, as I've considered the evidence in the case, that the defendant, Eric DeValkenaer, testified credibly at trial that he was rushing to provide cover for Sergeant Schwam, who had rushed into the backyard with his weapon drawn, prompting the defendant to do the same from the other side of the house. Although not in the court's view, again, rightly or wrongly, negating his obligation to act with reasonable care, as the court found he has failed to do, his natural reaction to protect his partner is a factor for me to also consider. And let's also be clear, and it is hard to accept this distinction. I know that. Murder and involuntary manslaughter arising from criminal negligence are two different things. They are different legal concepts. They are different things. Eric DeValkenaer is not Derek Chauvin, who murdered George Floyd. Eric DeValkenaer is not one of the 3 men in Georgia convicted of running down and murdering Ahmaud Arbery. This is a mitigating factor. Defendant has no prior criminal history. His ORAS scores him as a low risk in all categories. Defendant's history as a police officer, husband and father, friend and colleague is also a mitigating factor that I have taken into account, as his father asked me to do.
Despite his best efforts, the judge was unable to improve the cop's image. It is impossible to sugarcoat
Which I was already going to do, and that is to consider the totality of the circumstances and to consider the totality of the defendant's life. The facts and the circumstances in the history of defendant's career and his life that have been presented to this court have demonstrated he has not hesitated to immediately take action when he believed the circumstances surrounding him warranted it. And this trait has generally served him and others well. It also failed him, as it did on December 3rd of 2019. All of which, however, leads the court back to where it began, an evaluation of the impact of the defendant's crime on Cameron Lamb and his family.
It was the officer's lack of composure that caused Cameron to die. He would still be alive if the situation had been handled differently.
Cameron Lamb is dead. Eric DeValconaire killed him. And the court has found that that happened because the defendant acted without considering or being aware of the substantial and unjustifiable risks associated with his conduct, and that his actions were a gross deviation from the standard of care that a reasonable person would exercise in the situation. Having concluded, as I have, having considered all those factors, I ask counsel if there's any legal reason or cause having been shown why sentence.
The judge then gave the cop the sentence, and this was the bare minimum for what he had done.
Or should not now be pronounced.
None from the state time.
No, sir.
Eric DeValconaire on count 1, the Class E felony of involuntary manslaughter in the second degree. I sentence you to a term of incarceration in the Missouri Division of Adult Institutions of 3 years. On the unclassified felony of armed criminal action, I sentence you to a term of incarceration of 6 years in the Missouri Department of Corrections. Those cases, or rather those counts and sentences, will run concurrent with one another for a total term of incarceration of 6 years.
The cop only received 6 years in prison for Cameron. If this man hadn't been a police officer, the punishment would have been far worse. But make sure to take a look at this next judge, who delivered the ultimate justice and set an example for how the justice system should be.
It's clear to me that you're a remorseless killer, and I don't say that lightly.
In March 2024, Daniel Howard stood his last trial for the murder of his wife. Daniel claimed it was a suicide for 2 years, but after an investigation, you will be stunned by what the investigators found.
Is the defendant, Daniel C. Howard, guilty or not guilty of domestic battery? Guilty. Count 2. Is the defendant, Daniel C. Howard, guilty or not guilty of murder in the first degree? Not guilty. Is the defendant, Daniel Howard, guilty or not guilty of second-degree murder? Guilty.
Counsel, I'm proposing a sentencing date of May 23rd at 1:30 p.m. That's available. I will order a PSI or a pre-sentence investigation. Mr. Howard, I'll have you talk with your attorney about that. You have the right to participate or not participate in that. You continue to have the right to remain silent. Mr. Howard is remanded into custody. I'll see everyone back May 23rd at 1:30 for sentencing. We will be in recess.
Envious, Daniel brutally strangled his wife Kendi. In the courtroom with a standing trial, Kendi's daughter made a powerful and memorable remark that shook the courtroom.
I struggle with guilt and I struggle with not knowing. I wish I could have convinced her to stay with me instead of going home that night. The fear on her face and in her voice when she told me about how she woke up with him standing over her will never leave me. Nothing will fill the hole he has created. Nothing can fix or undo what he has done. But her name can be free. The thought that he can no longer have control over her name, her memory, and her spirit gives me a sense of peace.
Daniel claimed he was innocent, despite all of the evidence against him, but the judge made sure to take him to the dry cleaners.
I'm not that monster, I assure you. That
paperwork portrayed.
What we know, beyond a reasonable doubt, is that you strangled your wife, you murdered her, and then you staged her naked body in the bathtub, shot her through the mouth, and tried to pass this off as a suicide. That's proven beyond a reasonable doubt. In horrible crimes like this, everybody wants to know why. And often we don't know why, and I can't get inside your brain, but the pretty clear evidence, I agree with the state, is that this was due to, jealousy, greed, pride, anger, revenge, some combination of that.
Howard's portrayal of the suicide further demonstrated his monstrous nature. It's really hard to believe he was a law enforcement officer at one point.
You didn't just, when you killed Andy, you didn't just kill your wife. You killed a mother, you killed a grandmother, you killed a sister, you killed a daughter, you killed a coworker, you killed somebody who brought a lot of life and light to those around her and those she touched. And you snuffed that out because of your own pride, greed, and anger. Despite your efforts at the time to appear emotional and sad and distraught, it's clear to me that you're a remorseless killer. And I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly at all, because we don't like to think that anybody would be like that. Your own stepdaughter, your granddaughter, with a cold and callous contempt after the murder, it belies your argument to me today that you love these people and that you're sorry. As Brooke indicated, you never even talked to her about this after the fact. Your behavior towards her was contemptuous and unkind, and I'm not sentencing you for that. There was a lot of stuff that came in at the trial as to how you treated people after the fact, and how you treated your stepdaughter after the fact, and not allowing your granddaughter to get items that were meaningful and significant. But that's not why you're being sentenced today. But that does point to the remorse, the lack of remorse, the lack of caring, and just the callous disregard that you had for Kendi and how her death affected those around her. And that you had these same thoughts. You were talking about allowing people to live through your own self-control and restraint, understanding why people would kill their, quote, old ladies and go to prison. And so you're 58 years old. I don't see a lot of rehabilitation, sadly, in your future. Perhaps, but that's not a significant mitigating factor in sentencing you.
As the judge continued to question him, the disgusting felon remained straight and showed no remorse for his conduct.
There's a severe punishment for murder, for murder of your wife, and there's no sort of mitigation because the marriage is on the rocks, or the wife was unfaithful, or things like that. There's absolutely no justification here for murder of your wife, and I think it's important that the sentence sends that message as well. But what I know beyond a reasonable doubt is that you strangled or asphyxiated your wife. You murdered her. You staged her body to be found as if it were suicide. It's an outrageously egregious murder. And of course, all murder is, but this is particularly heinous in my view, having sat through the trial and seen all the evidence.
The judge soon issued a sentence, and it was immediately apparent what fate this vicious individual would face.
The nature and gravity of the offense standing alone is sufficient to justify a fixed life sentence, and that is what I'm going to impose here. I think Kendi's family deserves to have that closure. The crime is so egregious that I don't think you should be released at any point in the future. And I don't impose that lightly. I have thought long and hard about this, considered all the evidence, considered aggravation and mitigation. There's just so little mitigation here. There's just really none.
Throughout the proceedings, the judge maintained composure and compassion. At last, he read the punishment, giving Kendi's family consolation and a sense of justice.
So I do find that a fixed life sentence is appropriate for the count of murder in the second degree. On the domestic violence charge, I'll impose 10-year sentence and run it concurrent. I didn't even speak about that. I mean, really, I'm not, I don't mean to give that charge short shrift. The jury found that you were violent and abusive to your wife as well. It's just that, frankly, the killing alone subsumes it all in my view. And so I'm running that, the domestic violence charge of 10 years will run concurrent with your life sentence.
Howard received a life sentence without the chance of parole. Knowing that the dangerous man will be imprisoned for the remainder of his life is a comfort. Corrupt cops think they can get away with anything until they step into the courtroom. Today, we'll be witnessing officers who believed they were untouchable get instantly exposed and put in their place. When it comes to police officers in this world, there is good and bad. The difference between them is the good officers are protecting and serving, and the corrupt ones are spending time in court for their wrongdoings. And this is when things were about to take a turn for the worse. If you truly weren't convinced, it's about to go from 0 to 100 real fast. Routine patrols are meant to be just that, routine. But for these officers, a simple check in the woods turned into a nightmare that would shake his very understanding of the job.
I'm gonna tase you. Get your hands out of your pockets. Please. Get on the ground. Get on the ground. Man, come on.
On January 1st, 2024, officers on patrol stumbled upon a man and a woman fishing in a secluded area. The couple instantly became nervous, and what happened next confirmed they had every reason to be.
How are we doing today? Hey, go ahead and stop for me. How are we doing today?
How are you?
I'm doing all right. How was the fishing?
It's all right.
Okay. Did you keep any?
No.
Okay. Can I take a look at your licenses?
I don't have mine on me.
Okay. Can you turn the bike off for me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have your ID on you?
No, sir.
No ID? No nothing? Okay. You mind stepping off the bike?
Yes, sir.
Stop. Turn it off. Turn it off.
The male suspect, later identified as Patrick, didn't wait for questions. He bolted. Running from the police is always a telltale sign of guilt. And Patrick, he had a lot to hide.
Stop! Stop!
Oh, man.
Get on the ground!
Oh, man.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Stop!
Please.
Get on the ground! 6211, 1094. 1094. Get on the ground!
Can't, man.
Get
Don't
on.
understand, I can't. Please. I didn't do nothing.
Nova Road, just north of the
Please.
orange Osceola line.
Please.
1094.
Please, man.
Get on the ground.
Please.
I'm gonna tase you. Get your hands out of your pockets.
Please.
Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
Man, come on.
Get on the ground! Ow! On the ground!
He had this coming considering he wasn't cooperating at all.
Yes, sir. Oh my God. Oh. Oh. Please. Ow. Ow. Please. Oh. Oh my God. Oh. Oh, please. Please. Please, man. Please. Oh. Oh. I got a bad shoulder. Can I move my shoulder?
We will in a second. Ma'am, do you have anything on you? Go ahead and stand up. Anything that'll poke me, stick me? No? All right, ma'am. Go over there. There's that rock right there. You can go ahead and sit on that. Besides that knife and that gun you threw in the water, what else do you have on you? What's your first name?
Patrick. B-R-A-S.
B-R-A-S.
Do you mind if I kick my feet out?
You want to sit on your...
Yes, sir. If you don't mind.
Go ahead. Michelle, what's your last name? Hey, go ahead and cuff her. I already did a preliminary just pat down, but go ahead and cuff her.
Are you arresting her?
We haven't figured that out yet.
It wasn't her, man. That was me.
Unlike Patrick, Michelle, the female suspect, complied with every instruction.
Please don't arrest her.
Okay, well, we're going to figure out what's going on. Hey, Patrick, do you have any medical issues?
I just got bad shoulders, bad knees, high school football.
Okay. Any heart issues?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Can you stay with her? And, well, do you have room in your cage?
I can make room.
I can too. Let's walk them both up together. We'll make room in your cage first while I watch her, and then we'll do vice versa. All right. Can you stay with her? And, well, do you have room in your cage?
I can make room.
I can too. Let's walk them both up together. We'll make room in your cage first while I watch her, and then we'll do vice versa. What's up? I patted her down preliminary, if you would again. She's not 10-15 yet, just detained. All right, go ahead and lean up against my truck. All right, go ahead and come over here. We're gonna get you in this truck. All right, so put your left leg up here. If you can you?
But that only raised more questions. What exactly were these two doing out in the woods with no identification, no license, and a mysterious object that Patrick had just tossed into the water?
What? There what?
Do you want me to clear room for her?
Probably. Yeah, there's a motorcycle. If you can either put her in the truck, that way we don't have to watch her, you can watch her. I got quite a bit of evidence stuff down here. Yeah, I saw them. They gave me the felon stare as I drove by, and they were right on the fence line. So I turned around and came back, and I tried to go into a resource inspection because I got a bunch of fishing rods and whatnot. He turns the bike off initially after I told him to. Well, then he starts it up and starts to try to race away. So I just pulled him down and toppled the bike. And then he threw a gun out of his pocket into the river. So the gun landed. Yeah, we're gonna need a wrecker. The gun landed about 20 feet right there.
Okay.
So like, where's something to throw? I don't know. It was about there.
Okay. What is over there?
Gun.
Oh.
He pulled it and threw it.
Is he a felon?
Probably. I don't know.
The officer, determined to find out, circled back to the area, retracing Patrick's steps to uncover any hidden evidence. His gut told him he'd find more than just fishing gear.
All right. This one was on the front. This one was on that chick's back.
She didn't do anything, so is she going?
Currently, she's detained.
Okay.
So yes, Pat's fishing. Huh.
Wonder what's in there.
It's actually fishing stuff?
It's kind of surprising.
Patrick was charged with operating a motor vehicle without a license, possession of a firearm, possession of a controlled substance, obstruction, grand theft of a motor vehicle, resisting arrest, and tampering with evidence. This next case, however, felt more like an execution than an act of self-defense. On January 18, 2023, a joint operation attempting to clear the site of the future Atlanta Public Safety Training Center got underway. Police swarmed the place in tactical gear. However, this operation was about to go horribly wrong. After dismantling most of the tent, the patrol resumed. Protesters had been camping in tents and tree houses on site to oppose the construction of the training center. Precisely 4 distinct gunshots rang out before a barrage of bullets of different calibers were fired, and this was definitely not target practice.
Yeah. Hold front. On. Put them on. Put your body cams on.
Because of the dense foliage, not everyone on the big police team immediately understood what happened, but the worst was yet to come.
It was a firework or somebody shooting at us. For me, it sounded like fireworks. It was rapid.
All right. Raston, get a better perimeter on your side.
Negative. No, active shooter.
We're going to use our side as side 1, all right?
It seemed like the problem had been dealt with, but in situations like these, no officer can afford to let their guard down.
All right. What you got? What you see from your angle? Do you see an opening?
West side, 4th Street.
All right, guys, listen. We have confirmed gunfire, all right? Confirmed gunfire. So we're going to approach this with caution. We're going to wait till ATV is clear. Who is this over here? Where's Chandler?
We got ATVs
all right.
here with us.
All right. So everybody know positions, right? Watch your crossfire. All right. Perfect. Go ahead.
Working on evac with ATVs right now. Are y'all near the roof?
The cops skillfully maneuvered around the tent in order to gauge if there was any movement inside it.
Check this semicircle.
I got you.
This is the base of our semicircle. Everyone needs to shift back this way. Hey, keep coming this way.
The police! We have a non-lethal agent. Will be administered into the tent if you don't come out with your hands up. Again, this is Atlanta Police Department with a less lethal agent that will be administered into the tent if you do not come out with your hands up.
Cover me, Doug.
The police began their push into the tent only after the wounded officer was evacuated. After issuing several warnings, they fired non-lethal gas into the tent.
We're now using less lethal on the green tent. We're now at 9 rounds in.
You got count, Sarge?
There's 10. Well, 18, 13, we should have a drone over there. We're now at 12.
Just to be safe, the police fired a few more shots towards the tent as well.
No, we don't need the dog. It's Pepperball agent. We'll go up there. They penetrate? Yeah, some of them did. And from personal experience, you hear coughing if they're in there. Let me get like somebody come take my place because I got listed. We're gonna push on the right side. As we shift, perimeter shift with us.
Shift.
We're gonna slide.
As the teams approached the tent, they were hit by their own pepper spray-like gas. The tent was cleared along with the deceased shooter.
Shoot their own man? Huh? You don't know where you got shot by. That'd be the first thing we need.
The first one, I say was suppressed. That's for now. First like 3 rounds, and then that's what start shooting.
It was later found that the environmental activist Manuel Paez Terán was found dead right outside the tent. An earlier confrontation between him and an officer resulted in an exchange of gunfire. One officer was hit in the pelvis, while Terán was found to be shot 13 times from the finding of a private autopsy. Georgia state troopers were believed to have fired the fatal shots. As the police officers discussed the aftermath of the incident, the number 48 is mentioned. For context, this is a code within Georgia police forces that signals death. Routine patrols are meant to be just that, routine. But for these officers, a simple check in the woods turned into a nightmare that would shake his very understanding of the job. What happens when these officers make terrible discoveries in the woods? You never know what's out there, and you also never know what's luring you in. What started as a simple check in the woods turned into a damn nightmare. After dismantling most of the tent, the patrol resumed. Protesters had been camping in tents and tree houses on site to oppose the construction of the training center. They now dismantled most of the tent. The damage is done, which means the patrol resumes. Protesters were the ones camping there due to the construction of the training center. They are not allowing it to happen. And that's all for today's video. If you liked the video, subscribe so you don't miss out on the next upload. Thanks for watching.